Welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Join us for a little motivation, a little inspiration, and perhaps a way to cope with your day. I am Mike from Virginia, and my gratitude this morning is for the innocence of childhood.
Hey, good morning, folks. My name is Earl, living in the beautiful state of North Carolina. Hope everyone's doing well. And my gratitude for this morning is growing friendships.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Jay Anderson, yielding from the wild, wonderful state of West Virginia. My gratitude was I got to spend a little time in Virginia this past weekend, and I think it's a pretty cool state. So kudos to Virginia for ranking up there pretty good with West Virginia.
Hey guys, I am Christine Wright, hailing out of the great state of Florida. My gratitude is for staycays. We had a little trip that we took with the kids. It was great. We had a fun time. Um, and today Jay talked about working the knot out. He talked about a friend who drove her car with the check engine light on for like over a year. She just ignored the light, right? The car was driving fine, so she just thought everything was fine, right? Um, and he was pointing this towards the way we deal with our emotions, right? A new way to look at our signals of pain, right? He brought up the fact of waking up. I'm sure most of us have woken up with like a crick in our neck, right? It's not so pleasant. You go to work, it's bothering you, but it's not a serious injury. It's not something you need to go to see a doctor for, right? You can shrug it off or you can try to fix it, right? For instance, working the knot out, right? Like stretching, doing things that it's going to help with that pain, right? So the treatment can help resolve the issue. So our emotional discomfort can be viewed the same way, right? A lot of times we can just ignore it, or we can do the difficult work of dealing with it head on, right? Or we can, like I said, just ignore it. But maybe we should examine what is going on as if it was the crick in our neck, right? We refuse to look at our pain in the face and choose to passively deal with the discomfort. It does not help to avoid the situation, even if it's painful. He talked about journaling, things like that, that's going to help us. This is a good one, just in the matter of like journaling. I'm a huge journalist. Like I like to journal like my emotions, my thoughts, like because then I can go back and look at them and see how I dealt with certain situations, right? Whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. Because a lot of the stuff that I write down is not always good. It's not always roses and rainbows, right? Some of it's a little on the meaner side, right? It's how we talk to ourselves, the whole negative Nancy and the good person, right?
But it's being honest with yourself.
Yes, it is definitely being honest with yourself because the thing is like if we're not honest with ourselves, good point, Jay, then who are we fooling? The future
What's
version of us, right?
What's the point of journaling if you just cannot be honest with yourself other than you're make believing something? That doesn't
Yeah,
make sense.
no. Well, we're making believe something, or we're trying to tell ourselves that everything's okay, when in
Right,
fact it's not,
right.
right? And that's exactly what Jay was talking about. Like a lot of times we'll just tell ourselves that everything's fine and everything's going to be perfect and we don't need to worry about anything. But at the same token, it's not fine, right? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yes, you ask yourself, is it real or is it an illusion?
Yeah.
Where's Matthew McConaughey's voice when you need that?
Yeah.
Is it real or is it an illusion?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
But sometimes getting ourselves out of the knot, it can be a challenge, but also if we're following processes to get to where we're going, sometimes getting out of that knot will it'll take time, but you got to have the right mindset for it and have the right direction for it.
I watched something unfold this weekend that really kind of works right down this alley, right into the content of it. And when I got to my cousin's daughter's wedding this weekend, I saw my cousin's husband and I asked him how he's doing. We, exchanged hugs, and you could just see the stress just oozing from him at the moment. And he's smiling and he's a jovial person. Okay. So and he said, man, this thing has just turned into chaos. That wasn't the actual language that was used. But anyways, I started laughing and I gave him a hug. I said, it's going to be just fine. And I said, remember one thing, you can always pivot during any of this time and everything will be just fine. No one's going to know any different. The people in the crowd are not going to know any different. And I don't know. I just threw that out there more or less trying to ease his mindset when I did it. But this morning brings, maybe I served him some good purpose there by that, not knowing what I was really doing. But a lot of times I think we get caught up in our own selves of what this end game maybe should look like, and whatever it may be, whatever the event or goal or anything like that may be. And we have this picturesque view of how it's supposed to go. And man, that little journey never really goes that way. But our mindset, we have to be strong enough to recognize it. And Earl, you used the word pivot a long time ago. It's a great word. Sometimes you have to go and pivot just a little bit. And I wrote this down. So I changed the words a little bit from what Jay Shetty was saying, but sometimes working through the pain of a goal by working through it. And then under that, I defined it a little clearer, finding the treatment within this pain. And sometimes we have to be able to recognize, because Christine, you said it, goodbye, good guy, good guy, bad guy thing can be just a hurdle because it just depends on what our emotion is leaning more towards at that moment.
For sure.
So it is, this is a wonderful reminder how fragile our emotions truly are. And again, this is not a subject that would have been discussed 10 years ago or beyond that, stoic. We can't talk about this type of stuff. We will get through it. I mean, you got to have a little bit of that in your mindset. We will get through it because at the end of the day, that does propel us to keep moving forwards. But
and Jay,
sometimes you need help.
You mentioned the word pivot, but there was also a word that I used a long time ago. Believe it or not, it was actually used this weekend. Was guardrails. Pivot and guardrails. Why? Because sometimes we need the guardrails to stay on our path and keep our mind straight on what it is we need to do without twisting ourselves out of faith.
Next time I hit a guardrail, I'm going to cut a piece out and send it to you, Earl.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to use
get them often.
Oh dear.
But it's true, Earl. Dude, what you're saying is very true. We've had on the podcast, in that path, there's these little obstacles, little bumps in this path. And, you're right, Earl, if you don't have the guardrails up to bump you back into that journey, you can get lost.
And you got to stay pivoted and don't let what other people tell you try to influence you in the direction that you don't want to be in.
But that's so hard.
It is very hard.
Because everybody's opinion is right.
Oh, yes. I trust me. I've heard a couple of them. I said, no, I know my boundaries. Trust me. Boundaries and guardrails. So, but I think people watching this, though, they probably have different directions of life that they're going through or going down different avenues. But the thing of it is don't get yourself into that twisted knot that's gonna throw too many crooked corners in your life. What you need to do is just focus on you Focus on what you're doing. I mean, you can certainly take advice from others, but don't let it steer you down a different path that's not going to be a good fit for you.
By the way, I do want to finish this.
Yes,
That
but
that wedding was absolutely stunning, beautiful. And if there was chaos within, I didn't see it. Okay. I never noticed one thing and I never thought twice about what I had said, to Jake. It never crossed my mind until that came up this morning. The outside world doesn't get to see what this beautiful mind of our own creates, because this beautiful mind of our own, you might say you're not creative, but your mind is. It creates a lot of things, whether it's reality or whether it's an illusion. It creates a lot of things, and it's crazy.
It is.
But if you try to be a legend, those thoughts you have and what you create seem trivial because it's not the grandiose idea, or you're not going to be known for it after you die.
Or it's not how we pictured it.
Yeah.
Path never
Unmet
is.
expectations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We all have this end game thought. I'll call it that, and I'm not sure that that's the right thing to say, but that getting there, man, looks nothing like what we thought it was going to be.
For sure.
Yeah, you use the word pivot a lot in this conversation. And to me, pivot, if you think of what a pivot is, it's a little more extreme and sometimes it's necessary. You plant one foot, you swing the other foot around. How about just gently steer, little hit bit here. And to Earl's point, to make sure you don't hit the guardrails, but make slight little navigational adjustments along the way.
I agree.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Pivot has an edginess of jagged
Absolutely.
to it. Yeah, I agree with that. I would. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Let me change my verbiage. As you gently sway,
Or steer.
but Mike, the good point is, it sometimes we think we have to do a 360 just to get out of whatever problem we're in, when it is only maybe a slight alteration of something, whether it's the mindset, whether it's activity, whatever it may be.
The one thing I discovered and that was said this weekend is life is like a book, is a book of chapters in our life. Our life is in chapters. And you just don't know what the next chapter is going to be, how it will pivot, and what we need to do to pivot to move forward, because you just don't know what life is going to throw at you. But the key thing is sometimes, life will throw curveballs and little pivots that we have to make just to get where we want to be, because nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's
I guess
guaranteed.
I guess I'm going to be adversarial today. I don't like that analogy either, because um, you can have chapters in your professional life, you can have chapters in your family life, you can have chapters in your emotional life, you can have
True.
chapters in your recreational life, and not one thing doesn't end so another thing can start, right? They're all intertwined. So yeah, we're having trouble with analogies this morning. At least I am.
It's
Yeah.
okay, but I think that one can be determined in many ways, though. That's the thing.
You sure you got coffee in that cup there, buddy?
Right.
Oh,
No,
beer.
here's the thing. And listening to what Mike is saying, and this is just a quick thought and a quick rebuttal. This is how important this subject really is, because it goes to show you how each of us may view within a moment like that, how we might try to separate, how we might try to process it. So it's interesting because I see Mike as a person that sits down and Mike, I'm going to pick on you for a minute here. So, uh, if you feel
With
the need,
my full permission. Let me
if you
have
feel the need to rebuttal, please do.
it.
But I think the way Mike processes things is he is a strong thinker. So if he has any good guy, bad guy voices, he's able to take a process, his thinking process, and he brings reality into it, and then it becomes process elimination. And then I think that it's easier for him to find a solution because Mike is a very factual person versus a very theory person. That he likes theory, I think, but facts rule his world because it's black and white. It can be, there's no distinguish or undistinguished area for him on that. Me, on the other hand, there's gray. I mean, there's gray everywhere I go. And but having said that, I'm different in that I like to take the gray and try to have fun with it. That's how I roll. I I I try to find the silver lining in everything that's bad. And I try to find, and I try to, whether it is making excuses, and maybe that's what it is, I don't know. But I know that at the end of it, when I have just a shitty emotional thought, feeling, or my day's going in this direction, I try to figure out quickly what am I learning from this? Because I think we're always learning. And sometimes I try to figure out what is it that I'm trying to learn from this. And it helps me get back in my lane. But that's me. Christine and Earl, man, I haven't figured y'all out yet.
Some people say I'm hard to figure out.
Well, it's not that I'm trying to figure you guys out. That's kind of the beauty of this whole platform is we have this opportunity to say things and we learn so much about one another. And the cool part is we're a small pool, but this small pool does represent a larger pool. It really does. And that's the cool part behind it to me.
Yeah, everything we talked about this morning was journaling, and I wasn't a journaler until my father-in-law passed away. So we used to have some very deep conversations, and we would usually agree with each other, and sometimes he would bring me over to his side and vice versa. But now I I write those conversations that we would have and talk about life and family and politics and economics and all of this. And so I was thinking this morning as we were having a conversation, I'm sure the two main subjects would be the Italian Prime Minister and Alan Greenspan.
And I would say, you're wrong.
Speechless. Absolutely speechless.
I shouldn't talk about the Alan Greenspan over Italian Prime Minister.
I probably have to because I could probably at least articulate a bit more off of Greenspan than I could the Italian Prime Minister.
If you don't know, he passed away this morning.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Wow. Christine, thoughts?
Like I said to begin with, like I journal. So to me, like this is like a normal everyday habit, right? Now, is it normal for everybody? No, but it's normal for me. So like to me, it's like I journal my emotions all the time. And then I have Grok AI dissect them for me, analyze them. I know that sounds weird, but that's what I do. Yeah.
Wow.
So I put like a journal, like a journal thing. I just put it into Grok and then Grok shoots out what I should be doing. Like what I could do differently, what I can not, what I need to stop doing, things like that. So that's what I do. and it works for me. Now, is it going to work for everybody? No, not everybody wants to use AI, like especially like that, right? And the thing that Grok always tells me at the end of it, I probably need to name my AI, but because I have different ones, like I have different agents for different things, right? That's just one of them. But at the very end, he always tells me that good job being vulnerable and putting it out there. Like you're not, I don't sugarcoat at all. Because if we sugarcoat it, we're just sugarcoating our emotions and how we truly feel. And that's usually what we do, like on a regular basis anyway, is like so you see somebody walking somewhere that you might know, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm doing great. Everything's great. Like everything's always great. Great or fine, right?" And in all actuality, it might not be great or fine.
Yes.
We're just answering great or fine just to get through it.
Default surface level answer.
Absolutely.
And it might be the furthest thing from the truth. I mean,
Yeah.
my dad, I always ask my dad, "How you doing, Dad?" And he would say, "I'm great." He said it for years. The man never complained of pain or anything like that. If he had it, maybe he didn't. I don't know. I hope he didn't. But he never answered any other way. It was the default answer. It's funny that you even said that because we talked about that this weekend, him saying that all the time.
Yeah. Because it is our default.
I tend to say that. Great, good, everything's good. But I told somebody, a good friend of mine who, another person we can have this deep conversation with this thing, I stopped keeping score with dollars. That's not my scorecard.
Me too. Now,
If
if you
I'm
would have asked me that, shoot, I'll say as recently as 7 years ago.
when I first got in the insurance business, like, oh, it's crappy. I mean, probably got turned down. Person didn't tell me they were diabetic.
Yep. Facts. Like, and a lot of times okay, so the way we define, great or how we're feeling is a lot of times outside pressures, right? It has nothing to do with us. It has to do with like money and success and, all the things, but it's not truly what's going to make us happy anyway.
No,
Right.
no, because we rely on society to tell us how we should feel,
Yeah.
which is a no-no.
Absolutely.
In all honesty, one thing that will get me riled up is things not working the way we're supposed to.
Yes.
Or people not doing what they say they're going to do.
Yes.
For sure.
I'm
I
with
told somebody the other day, he said, "Would you stop calling me?" And I said, "Would you stop clicking on that appointment link?"
you.
If you stop
Guys, I
clicking
think,
your appointment link, I'll stop calling you.
yeah, exactly. Guys, I think it's easy to see we're not licensed therapists. But I tell you what, some of the content that Jay Shetty provides us allows us to really stretch our imaginations, allows us to think. Quite frankly, we learn so much. Even if we're wrong in how we're talking about it, it's still expanding our mindsets. And the beauty behind what we do is when we have this platform with the four of us, as I said earlier, we shape ideas that are out there and we see angles from a small pool for people. And a lot of times that encompasses a lot of how a bigger pool may feel. Not everyone falls within this category. Please understand that. But we use the app Calm. Within that app, we use Jay Shetty, provides wonderful content. Today's subject work, the Not Out, was awesome because it gave us a chance to explore some things, how we may perceive working out those tough times. It's easy to give up, folks, but this is where talking about it can be very beneficial.
And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. And we certainly hope you'll come back for more. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.
Peace.